Shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone as GMS. Peace and blessings to the Akim and a few Akwat across the four winds. This is your brother Bata Mayan from Great Millstone, Houston, coming to you with a quick hit. I saw this on Weon. North Korea fires ballistic missile towards EC. North Korea been test firing a lot of missiles. I believe they get their technology from China and Russia. Russia being the top, I'll just say artillery providers, or they have the top, missiles in the war games right now. But North Korea, they have no worries about what America or South Korea is talking about. So they're going to keep test firing their missiles. Ultimately, those, ICBM missiles are going to reach America, which is the virgin daughter of Babylon, or Babylon the Great in the scriptures. So we're living in a time of war. World War III is here. It just hasn't reached its peak yet, but soon they will, as they continue to gather in the so-called Middle East, which is really West Asia. Or I get that in Joel, which really sparked my spirit. They're going to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat, where Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is going to place judgment upon all nations. That's including you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the nation of Israel. Especially if you're teaming up with Esau Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man, and his military, you're going to ultimately be destroyed just like him. But Ecclesiastes chapter 3, the title says, a time for everything. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the sun. Ecclesiastes 3:3, a time to kill and a time to heal. So when you're in war, it's a time to kill. But we're not going to receive healing until Yahweh, whom the world ignorantly calls God. He's the Most High. His name, Yahweh, means he is, he exists, he to be. And his only begotten son is Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But his name means he is salvation. He's our Redeemer. He saves. That's the ultimate physician. He's going to come and heal the nation of Israel, which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. A time to break down and a time to build up. Right now we're shedding off that old man, and our faith is being built up, being rebuked and reproved through these scriptures. We're building up our faith in this time of war. Our salvation draweth nigh. It's nearer than what we believe. But we're not going to be ultimately healed again until Yahweh Shah comes back. That's what we're banking on. That's what we're waiting on, patiently waiting, through the suffering of these evils. But Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, and love the good and hate the evil. The good is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, being brotherly, charitable, available. In a time to hate, you got to hate your enemy. You got to know who your enemy is, but all these other nations, they hate you. A time of war and a time of peace. We're living in the time of World War III. We're in almost at the climax, but we're getting to the top of that peak. And it won't be peace until Yahweh Shah comes and obliterate all of these nations. He's going to wear those many crowns. Joel chapter 3, verse 2. And this will really spark my spirit to do this quick lesson. I will also, Joel chapter 3, verse 2, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of the Salakia, into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So all the nations are going to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the so-called Middle East. Yahweh Shabbat, it's the Yahweh's judgment. God is going to judge. It's going to be Armageddon, Armageddon, a mountain of troops. It's going to be bodies everywhere. And we'll plead with them. When you go to that word plead, it's Shabbat. He's going to judge. He's going to send them to the spirit world. Especially you 2/3 that's going to fight on the side of these other heathen nations, especially Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. You're going to receive your judgment there, and it's going to be a terrible death. by the hands of Yahweh Shai and the heavenly host, which you're going to host, that's the armies, the real Space Force. Yahweh Shai is going to come on the fathership, what people call a UFO or UAP, but it's called clouds. They're chariots. They're the vehicles of the angels. The angels are going to be in those so-called UFOs, zapping people, and ultimately going to get beamed up if we are of that number, which is the nation of Israel. And it's going to kind of go into it right here and plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. So the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is on the side of the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those Israelite foreigners that look like the other heathen nations, whose spirit resonate with this truth, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, and parted the curses we've been scattered. So that's why we look like the other heathen nations. And then the last precepts I had was Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Hey, we're in the time of World War III. You have all these nations overseas preparing their people for war, getting their minds, mentally ready. We're here in Babylon the Great. When you go into Babylon, Babal, it's confusion. It's a bunch of confusion. People worried about the Houston Texans playoff, celebrating the first win for the new head coach who was a former player, and you have basketball season going on, and then baseball's going to start, and then just worried about celebrities and etc. When, hey, we're in a time of war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. They're going to come up to what people ignorantly call the Middle East, which is really West Asia. That's the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So they're investing more into military opposed to, farming and etc. Hey, you have these weaker nations building up their arsenal, to ultimately fire thermonuclear missiles here in Babylon the Great, which is America, the virgin daughter of Babylon. This place will be touched and it will be laid desolate. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, that's GMS. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect across the four winds. That's the 12,000 men from the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Then the rest of the 1/3, the innumerable multitude. You have the Israelite foreigners, the men, women, and children. Shalom.